Hi, and good evening, everyone. Did the frigid cold play a role in a deadly house fire? This morning, Dayton firefighters pulled the body of 57-year-old Robert Clement from his burning home, and he died at the hospital. Wally Aliu is live with more on the issues firefighters dealt with today due to the freezing cold. Wale.
I'm out here on Kennedy Avenue on the east side of Dayton, and this fire hydrant outside of Clement's home was actually frozen at the base. Now that obviously is going to make it impossible to get any water out. We contacted the city of Dayton to find out how a fire hydrant can freeze. 57-year-old Robert E. Clement was already suffering from a couple different health conditions.
There's an oxygen tank out front, and the patient was on oxygen.
He's been sick and limping around.
Clement's basement caught fire around 8 this morning. Firefighters initially went to the nearest fire hydrant, but found it was frozen.
Crews were hampered a little bit with frozen hydrants. What we ended up doing is pretty much dumping one engine tank into another engine tank. We didn't get a full supply like we normally do from a hydrant.
Firefighters tell us they had enough water from their 2 engine trucks to put out the fire, but we still wanted to know how a fire hydrant freezes.
Fire department actually does an annual maintenance on all fire hydrants in their areas.
They inspect every hydrant every fall, making sure they are all in working order. They also pump out excess water, so when it gets cold, the water won't freeze. Still, it happens several times a year.
There's a couple issues that could cause it. One is if somebody does operate the hydrant after we've been there, and we don't know about it.
The only other thing that can cause a hydrant to freeze is if it develops a leak. Dayton Water Distribution Bureau will go out tomorrow to see if there was a leak in the hydrant. When a fire hydrant does freeze, what crews have to do is they actually have to melt the outside of the fire hydrant. You can actually see some of the marks here from them doing that to this specific hydrant. Now, of course, the cold and the frozen fire hydrants weren't the only problems firefighters had to face today. Obviously, fighting a fire in these cold temperatures is very hard, so they had several extra firefighters on hand, so no firefighter had to fight the blaze for too long. They rotated and got them into heating centers. For now, that's the very latest here in Dayton. Wale Aliu, Fox 45 News.